Hello and welcome to Angel Heart Radio. I'm your host, Beth, and today it's just me, and I'm going to be sharing some thoughts on being adaptable and resilience, and just sharing some thoughts on how it is to be in this age, in this time of 2021, with everything that's going on in the world. And I hope there's some people in the chat room, because I'd like to hear from you on how you are coping with the changes that are going on the planet at this time, and whether you feel you're resilient and how you can be resilient, what makes a resilient person. And so I thought I'd do some ideas with that. So it's very different for me today. I'm here by myself. I don't have a host. So I'm not used to doing this, so hopefully I can, get across what I'd like to share with you today. So I'm just going to get the chat room up and see if we have anyone in there today. Not at the moment, that's okay. So as a species, this planet itself, if you think about it, this planet has adapted and evolved, and over obviously billions of years, and then the animals came and they had to do the same, and we as humans have to do the same, and we've evolved over millions of years, of course, ourselves. But in the last 50 years, probably more than ever, the pace of the change has been so rapid. And whether we're finding it difficult even in the last 2 years since COVID, but even before that, things were speeding up and the changes taking place. We can all find it difficult mentally and emotionally to deal with that, to keep up with those changes. So I know myself, it's been challenging in all sorts of ways. I live in Australia, so obviously we've been fairly fortunate with with COVID and so forth, but in other countries it's been much more difficult. It's not just during COVID, but even the earth changes, the environmental change, we've all had to adapt. But probably the biggest thing that we've had to deal with is the mental, emotional adaptation and changes we've had to deal with. So we can see in society, politically as well, there's so many things happening, and the pace of life in with work and technology, it can be overwhelming. And we might question, why have I come here at this time? And I have asked myself that question many times over the years. And it's a good question to ask. So I don't know if you've really started to think in the big picture. It would be really interesting to ask people, who are still living at 190 or 100, how they've adapted to change. It probably has been a bit slower in their lifetime until the last number of years, and how they've done it, how they've built up that being able to adapt and stay resilient and live at that age and still, maybe be healthy and so forth, hopefully. So they'd be good role models to ask, and I didn't have anyone to ask at this point what their way of coping has been. But ask yourself now, often resilience training, you could say, starts in our childhood. If you look back at your childhood, there'd be children are very adaptable. They know how to survive. And so there's a lot of things that would go on from, minor to major incidences in your life. There could be disease, illness, or it could be accident or trauma and so forth. So, ask yourself, and you have to sit and think about this, because often you may not consider it to be resilience training, but that does happen in childhood, and then the effects go on in life. And you may not think you're that resilient or adaptable, but if you look back in your childhood, you will start to see things started even back then. So I know from my own experience, there was a lot of resilience training, and I probably wasn't happy about it. I mean, there was trauma, there was abandonment, emotional abandonment, and loneliness, being alone, and that was even before 10. So that would be one experience, and there'd be many people who have had, you know, major experiences apart from mine. So it started that resilience training for me then. So I'm sure, as I said, looking back in your own lifetime. So we're all here now, and it's no accident that we're actually here. On a soul level, we did actually choose to be here. And I know I've questioned that many times. Why on earth would I have gone through what I've gone through, and why are we here now? But we have chosen to be here now. And there's a good reason that our soul knew we had the ability to be here, to deal with all this, and to help others as well. Not only just live through it and learn for our own lessons, but it's also to help others. So I've had to make a bit of a list because there's so many things you can talk about this. And then thank you, Anaya. She's put a question in here. Yes, we don't have all our parents and grandparents didn't have the toolkits that we've got now. I mean, we've got so much help out there that they didn't have. So they were pretty tough customers, really, to get through life can be tough here on Earth. It can be really challenging, it can be wonderful, but it's a 3D reality, so it can be quite tough. So remember, you've made it this far, so you're actually doing really well. If you can make it here on planet Earth, you can make it in a lot of places. That's the old saying. But going back, at this point in our history, we are all needed here to move it forward somehow. And there are different ways. In looking back at your life, I think you will see different areas that you have learned this. And you may not always be strong in every area, but that's okay. You're human. You're here to learn as well as being resilient. And yes, we are quite a bit mixed bag. So we're not here to run away from everything. You know, one of the things about trauma, it can be a massive teacher, and it actually can build resilience if you don't give up, if you persevere, if you look on that higher level to why things happen to you or why it happens to the world, not even necessarily to you. There's never an accident in why things happen. So obviously it's taking it to a higher level. We have to be big picture people to help you through that. That's what helped me in my life, was trying to understand the bigger picture to why things happen. We have to question everything. There's no point to just accepting. That sounds contradictory. We do accept things, but also question certain things to wonder why. And so it will lead you deeper all the time and get you to some really interesting inspiration and ideas that may help you open up to your life even more. Sorry, we're just getting some more questions here. So these days, it's actually not, with everything that's going on, there's so much rapid change and so many conflicting ideas, and everyone has a point of view, and whether you have money or not money, or power or feeling no power, how you succeed in life is not so much what you have, it's what's within you. And that's almost like a superpower, because once you know what's inside of you, that is your strength, and that is a resilience to bounce back, that knowing that on that inner level. And so a lot of this, it's all the things that have happened in this life to yourself, to others, and as a society right now, our cultures, it's there to open us up even more to what is truth. I mean, there's not one truth, there's many truths, but to question who we are. We're here to go deeper and deeper, and And in doing that, that opens us up to a much greater awareness of life and maybe how to change it in a way that's more harmonious. And it may not seem that at the moment, but what's coming to the surface is all that needs to go, that needs to change. So holding on to those ideas will help you. And I actually got that directly from Spirit. It's like touching on those higher parts of you, that the higher part of you, that your spiritual self is the thing that's going to hold you in your center and keep you grounded and keep you moving forward in a way that you may not have had to do before. And this may be a new way for you to live your life. And again, I see this as a greater picture for humanity to move forward. So there's some simple, there are some ways, practical ways, in a sense, to learn how to adapt and also find your own inner resilience. There's a lot, so I have to read them out. There's quite a lot. So if you think that you can't be resilient, that's not true. You probably just have to recognize or maybe put into practice some of these different things. So finding like a sense of purpose for yourself in life is actually a really major thing, no matter whether, you know, what we're going through now would have happened or not, but even more so now, because it gives you a purpose to be here and to, you know, feel joy and, of course, you know, and maybe help others. It could be in so many ways, but having a sense of purpose is a major benefit in life. Gratitude, of course, that is always such a major part in shifting energy, your own energy, and how you see the world, and no matter what is going on. And it will really change your life in many ways. Belief in your abilities, you know, that belief in self is quite a strengthening thing to do, because it gives you that sense of self and trust in oneself. And again, that's a major thing in resilience, that trust. Embracing change. You know, none of us like change particularly, but we want it at the same time. It seems quite contradictory. Nothing's actually permanent. And I guess if we can change our belief around things need to stay the same to be okay, some things we're happy to change, but life isn't permanent. Energy is not permanent. Nothing is permanent. So if we can shift the belief around that, that is actually a strengthening thing and helps you adapt and be resilient. Of course, being optimistic. It's not being like a Pollyanna, everything's okay and sunshine and roses and rainbows or whatever. It is, though, trying to see on the bright side of life. There was a saying, what is it? No one has ever damaged their eyes by looking on the bright side. I love that one because it's so relevant. And I've had to use that many times myself. So, yeah, remember that phrase. It's quite good to bring you back into center when you start sort of seeing everything gloomy. Things change. That's coming back to the non-permanency thing. Everything will change. It can't help but change. Circumstances, eventually people, and yourself. Nurture yourself and see yourself have a positive view, because if you're down on yourself, everything will seem dismal. And again, that's a strengthening thing for you. You have a right to be here, and you have something to offer this world. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. That's just a basic fact. You matter here. You make a difference just by being here. So there are good things about you, and finding more and more every day is very important. Values are a major thing. If you get your values down or understand them much better, then you have better boundaries in that way, because you know who you are and where you're going. And that keeps you focused on those. And in so doing, again, you can adapt, but your core deep values are the same. So that will help the resilience again. Making, having connections. And our society has become, with everything, it's become more isolating, and technology has brought that in. Technology is wonderful, but it has the other side to it as well. It creates a loneliness with people. We're time poor as well in that sense. We're always busy doing things instead of being with each other, and people watching their phones instead of talking. So it's making those connections. We need each other. We're social beings. We're all connected anyway. So if you don't have enough, create new ones. It's vital. We all need it. But they're not, I could say, also a contradictory thing. Being alone, being comfortable with being alone is also a very strengthening thing. It's not that you've just got to get that balance right, enough to give you your own time and your sense of self, and keeping your own energy and being able to go within is a very strengthening thing. But again, it's balancing that between having connections. We all want and need to be with each other. Very important. What else have we got? Oh, yes. Sometimes things seem so insurmountable, like the problems and so forth, and feel that you can't cope and you're overwhelmed. So I guess the thing is, nothing is impossible. There may be steps that we take, or we have to see something from a different angle, a different perspective. There will be some way to overcome something, or even if it's just you changing your perception of a situation or event. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is set in stone. So again, that will help you, give you that sense of strength. And taking action. Often not taking action with a problem it feels like you lack power. It feels like you're powerless. So in taking that action, it gives you that sense of self-responsibility, that you are strong no matter what. It's your decision. I know when I haven't taken action on something, I don't feel strong, or I don't feel that I have strength. So taking action gives you relief, but it also gives you that strength, even if it's not the right actual decision or that you make, but it's your decision, and it's a learning anyway. There's no failure, there's no right or wrong in doing that. And so I found many times when I've just taken one little step towards something that I've needed to do for myself or for someone else, that's created that strength within. Of course, another one is looking for, that's opportunities for self-discovery. Maybe a situation you may not have handled correctly, or felt that you didn't handle it correctly, or could have done it a different way. Being able to look at that is certainly a sign of strength, and being able to adapt to a situation, being able to adapt your behaviour also adds a great strength to yourself and to your life for the next one. So of course, never give yourself a hard time. Keeping things in perspective is being able to be adaptive with your perspective is a major thing. I feel, even in creating physical health with that, not just mental and emotional health. Doesn't mean you switch non-stop, but allowing yourself to be open creates a health in the body, because of course we hold so many emotions and thoughts, if they're, you know, negative or rigid, in our body. Our body will show us those things. So that in itself will reflect in your body a healthier body, and your environment as well, allowing yourself to open, because your energy opens up, that you're open and flexible and adaptive, and that creates a strength to move forward. All of these things added up will make you more resilient. And probably one of the biggest things is, for me, that I have found, you know, there can be so much craziness going on and so much psychic energy and verbal energy on the ethers. You know, everyone's got something to say, and, you know, social media, and it can get you just overwhelming. You just want to escape. So it's like, touch something beautiful every day. And of course, that can be a visual thing, or hearing music. But if you can find something, though, that of beauty that you touch inside, and that would be connecting, I guess, to spirit in some way, something beautiful within you, that love, that kindness, that compassion, and take that higher, that's going to hold you through all of any chaotic or rapid change in society. That will hold you, that will keep you. And you do that every day, and you're able to cope with things a lot more easily. Yes, meditation is one of the greatest tools. And I think, you know, if it was taught in schools, or we teach our children, not just relying on teachers to do that, but we all do it in some way, touching some beauty of some sort, it'll help us remember who we really are and where we're going, not only as a person, but as, you know, a community, as your country, but as humanity, because it is there. It's just finding it, and it's our, I guess, responsibility in some way to do that. So we take care of our own feelings and our own emotions and our own thoughts. But touching that beauty is something that has helped me so often in my life. And when I've gotten off track with it, I haven't done it, I notice the difference. I really notice the difference. And you do see things differently and see life and what is going on. It helps you cope with whatever's happening. So what else have we got? So we haven't got anyone. Thank you, Anaya, for being in the chat room there. It's a subject that you could go on for a long time, and there's many layers to it. I've just given you some simple ideas. It's a soul. We're all on a soul journey, and we're here on this planet, right here, right now, with each other, and we've only got now. Oh, we've got Tracy. Welcome, Tracy. So it's up to us. As I said earlier, we're all here for a reason, and we've chosen it. And there's many times I actually have shaken my fist at spirit, going, I'm not strong. You think I'm strong. I can't do this. I really can't do this. You know, throwing a little tantrum, not at anyone, but at anyone in spirit that would listen. And often when I thought I couldn't get through something, just getting it out, thinking that I'm not strong enough, that I can't do it, I didn't change anything, but something shifted in me, and I ended up going through it and moving on. Each time we meet a resistance when we come to change, or having to adapt, or feeling we're not strong enough. But you can move through it. If I can do it, anyone can do it. There's so many times in my life that I've had to deal with mental, emotional, huge fears because of trauma, PTSD, did I say that correctly? Post-traumatic stress, many challenges like so many other people. But once I voiced it and I talked, I got it out. I didn't bottle everything up. That again, thinking that you have to be, do it alone and you can't ask for help, that actually isn't a strength. That it's more of a fear. It's a fear of being judged and whatever. So getting help is actually a strength. And even crying and people think that crying is a weakness, that you're not strong, and that's so not true. Crying is allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to be open, to feel everything, but you just keep going. And there's a difference between strength and resilience and hardness. We can all put our shields up and have that wall around our heart and feel that we're being strong, we're, tough and adaptable. But that's actually not the case. And many of us, people can hide behind that. But if you look through that with compassion, you'll see there's a great pain behind that. So, as humanity, we're getting these major lessons, and we're challenged to open up and be honest and open with each other in so many ways. And that will give us more strength, but it'll also have many great benefits with that. Compassion, love, strength, wisdom, all those come from challenges if we choose it that way. If we focus on moving forward with whatever challenge we've had and learn that resilience. And this is going to keep going for a while, I feel. And so the more we talk about things, the more we're open, I feel that humanity will move forward. How long it will take, I don't know. And no one knows, but keep the focus on being open with each other, and you'll gain that resilience no matter what. We're here now. I'm not going to go anywhere. I might not like everything that's going on, but from the resilience that I have gained in my life, it will keep me going. Life, we're here, it's life. We're given this one opportunity each time, no matter how many lives we may have. We're here now, and we've chosen to be here, and with all the gifts from other lives as well, we can tap into our soul to help us with resilience, because our souls have had many lifetimes to learn what it's been like to live here on earth. So that is something that you can also do, is tap into that to help you in some way. So I'm going to end today. This is my resilience, my adapting to talking by myself. It's not a comfortable thing for me, but again, I'm learning how to do it, and I hope I'll certainly be doing it again. So I've hoped just sharing some of the things about adapting and gaining resilience may help you in some way. And I will be back. I will leave my website if you ever want to contact me. I'll leave it on the chat page. It's thrivetherapies.com.au, and I would love to talk to you. I over the years, because of my what I've been through, I was drawn at an early age to start looking deeper, and I give thanks for that. And it's taught me resilience. So I practice hypnotherapy. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I am an energy practitioner and teacher, and a life guidance reader. So it has taught me to go within so I can help others. So that's what resilience can do for you. If I can do it, you can do it. So thank you again for listening today, and I'll say goodbye for now. And thank you to Anaya and Tracy, I think it is, and Tony. Sorry, it's Tony. And thank you for being here today. And I'll talk to you again soon. So bye for now.